it's me, Namaisa, and I'm finally back on my YouTube channel. And now that this video is already long, let me talk about something. This is the first time for me doing an effects makeup look that is not just about my face. So I include my arms, my neck, and my face. And doing that by yourself, on yourself, to me, is pretty challenging. Especially, you know, when you have to apply an arm prosthetic on your dominant hand, which is my right hand, and I was not able to film that process. I had to apply it with left, and it took way longer than the other arm. It was just not easy for me to just, you know, to film that. So I'm sorry, you have to figure that out on your own. It's not that difficult. If you want to do it on a model, it's the same principle as gluing down the prosthetic on your face or in your neck or whatever prosthetic you want to use. It's the same principle, but just film-wise, tutorial-wise, it's difficult because I do all of this by myself. The filming, the application, everything. Just to let you know, it was pretty difficult for me to film that. So also in this video, I will not be showing any products in the screen, plain and simple because I forgot. I was busy doing this, and when I do effects, I'm completely focused on the prosthetics and what I need to do, and I pretty much forget to show products in screen. What I will do is leave a list of products used in the correct order in the information box below. Obviously in my voiceover I will talk about the products that I've used. I'm just not showing it on camera, plain and simple. And like always, if you want to know how I did this look, then you know what you gotta do. Okay, so let's get into the painting. I mixed up a batch of Thomas Surprenant prosthetic paints in the colors Midtown Merlot and Vampire Slayer. And I'm pretty much painting that all over the areas where the skin is broken, if you get what I mean. Actually, you can see two of the prosthetic paints in the back. Those are the two I used, just a little mixture. And then I mixed Thomas's Vampire Slayer with a little bit of white Pax paint by Melt Products. And I used that as a base color for the gums, as you can see right here. Now, let me tell you, when you paint foam latex, you need to seal it with something so that other products can stick to the prosthetic. That's why I'm using prosthetic paints and Melt Products Pax paints. Now I'm using that same color mixture to highlight some of the muscles, sort of say, in the prosthetic. I know it's really dark right now, but later on in this video, I changed up my lighting and you will be able to see it perfectly. And just a quick reminder, even though this video is sped up and edited, just take your time when it comes to, you know, painting the details. So here I'm using white Pax paint only by Mel. I believe it's called Elvira, and I'm just coloring in that bone section right there. I'm going to use another prosthetic paint by Thomas Surprenant. This one is called Chocolate Cream. And this shade is a little darker than my own skin tone and more on the grayish side, which I actually like because, you know, it's a zombie, my skin is decaying and all of that stuff. So yeah, that's why I went for this color. I'm actually applying it with a Delian Tools stippling brush. Don't worry, I'm not going over the areas I already, you know, pre-painted. I'm actually going to use a fine brush to paint in the other details off camera. Okay, so now the prosthetic is pretty much pre-painted with prosthetic paints and Pax paints. Now I can use alcohol activated makeup palettes. And I'm using a blood tone. Obviously all the information will be below in the information box. But I'm using a alcohol activated color, a blood tone, to, you know, color in some of the gum areas, the wounds, you know, just to give it a little bit more detail. And now I'm using a dark gray alcohol activated makeup color, and I'm just spackling that all over the prosthetic, avoiding the mouth area pretty much, just to give this piece more texture. Just like with skin, you know, it's not all one even color. And now I'm using a dark pink alcohol activated makeup color, and I'm stippling that pretty much on the contours of the prosthetic. I just like that look, plain and simple. There's no rhyme or reason to it, I just love the look of it. And here you can see what it looks like. Really softly, not that crazy, just a hue, if you get what I mean. And then next, to clean up the teeth, sort of say, I'm using a Pax paint again. I think it's the same Elvira Mel Pax paint. And yeah, just a small brush, and I'm just cleaning up the teeth, also laying down a base for other colors to adhere to. And then I'm using a really nasty yellowy alcohol paint or tooth lacquer, and I'm just applying that over there. And it's just, you know, I'm mixing colors just until I have the right shade, until I'm satisfied with how the teeth look. And as you can see, I'm also using kind of a dark green alcohol paint just to give the teeth more definition, to make them look more rotted. You know, you get what I mean, right? So now I'm quickly moving on to the neck prosthetic. I'm first going to paint the trachea with Elvira PAX paint by Mel Products. And after I've done that, I'm going to make a mixture between Elvira PAX paint again and Thomas Surprenant's prosthetic paint called Vampire Slayer. And I'm just going to color in the flesh part or the exposed muscles. And now, just like with my face prosthetic, I'm going to use the Thomas Surprenant prosthetic paint in the shade called Chocolate Cream, and I'm applying that all over my neck. Of course, I'm not applying it into the wound, but you get what I mean. So I'm switching between sponges and brushes, just, you know, to make the application easier for me. The brush helps me with coloring in the details, and the sponges helps me with the rest. And just like with my face prosthetic, I'm stippling on a dark pink alcohol activated makeup color just to match the neck more to the face prosthetic, and because I like the look. Now moving on to the arms and hands. So now I'm first starting out with applying that Thomas Surprenant prosthetic paint in the color Chocolate Cream all over the prosthetic while not going too close to the actual edges of the prosthetic. And then I used a grayish alcohol activated makeup color and applied that to, let's say, the details of the prosthetic. So to kind of create a shadow, you know what I mean? Just to make the prosthetic stand out more. And just so you know, I used very thin washes of the color. And when it comes to painting on details, just take your time. It's just like blending your normal eyeshadow. And now to bring some texture to the arm prosthetic, I'm using a black alcohol activated makeup color, and I'm just spackling that all over the arm in a random pattern. Now I'm just using a dark purple alcohol activated makeup color, and I'm applying that all over the veins that were sculpted on this prosthetic. And yeah, moving on, now I'm taking a dark red alcohol activated makeup color, and I'm just pretty much sponging that onto my knuckles to create a blood type of effect. So that was pretty much it for the pre-painting. I did, however, tone down the intensity of that fake vein, sort of say, with some alcohol activated paints, but other than that, we're done with pre-painting. So here you can see my skin just bare as it is, nothing on there, no moisturizers, just clean bare skin. Not bare skin, but clean skin. So I'm going to use Pros8 or Pros8, the original adhesive for the prosthetics that I'm going to adhere. And as you can see right here, I'm starting out with the neck piece. So I'm just applying a little bit of glue on the center part of my neck, and then I'm applying the prosthetic on top of the glue, obviously. Now let me be honest, I'm not going to go in too much detail regarding the gluing down process, because I've talked about this in my previous tutorials, FX tutorials that is, and I don't want to sound repetitive, you know, I want to give some other information. So yeah, as you can see right here, I'm just generally gluing down the prosthetic. After I've done that, I'm gluing down the edges as always. And now after I've glued down the prosthetic, obviously I'm going to paint the rest of the prosthetic and some of my skin. So I'm using that Thomas Surprenant Chocolate Cream prosthetic paint. And I'm just going to color in the rest of my prosthetic and a little bit on my skin. Remember, this shade does not match my skin tone whatsoever, but that is on purpose. I wanted my skin tone to be a little bit more grayish and darker, you know, because of decaying skin and all. Then I'm doing the same as I did on my prosthetics before. I'm just spackling on some texture and then blending in the rest of my prosthetic onto my skin. Well, not blending in, but just blending it out. Now for my arms and hands, I was not able to film this process, so yeah, I'm sorry for that, but it's the same principle as gluing down the prosthetic for the neck, for the face, and then painting the rest of the prosthetic. It's exactly the same, just on arms, which is a lot more difficult on yourself than on a model. Okay, so let's move on to the face. As you can see, here is the face prosthetic. And I'm just going to glue it down again. I'm starting out with the center part of my face with the same Pros8 or Pros8. And then I'm gonna lay down the prosthetic in the center. And then I'm gonna glue down the rest of the prosthetic. Like I said before, I do not really want to focus on the gluing part because I've talked about this process for many times. But you can always leave me questions below in the comment section. And now again, I'm going to continue painting the prosthetic. So I'm using that same chocolate cream prosthetic paint again, and I'm first applying that on my prosthetic, so on the edges. And later on, I'm going to apply that all over my face and also in my neck more. You know, just to blend everything out again. And now I'm taking a dark purple alcohol activated makeup color and I'm applying that on the edges of my prosthetic and on the sides of my face and neck, just to give more texture. And speaking of texture, I'm also applying that dark gray alcohol activated makeup color first on the edges of my prosthetic and then also onto the rest of my actual face, just to blend in the prosthetic with my face. Now for the eye part, I'm using a Kryolan rainbow circle. This one is called Black Eyes. And I'm just mixing the dark purple and a little bit of black eyeshadow to deepen up my eyes, you know, to give them more dimension. And I'm using that same color combo to create some definition or dimension on the temples of my face. And now for the fun part, I'm going to apply some blood into, well, pretty much the wounds. I'm not going to overwhelm the wounds with blood because I want the details of the prosthetic still to be seen. Otherwise, you've painted your prosthetic for nothing if you're just going to slather it in blood. So in this case, less is more. After I've done that, I'm taking a product which is called Extremely Wet, and it's by a brand called Makup Online, and I'm applying that on a couple of spots on my face just to highlight it and to simulate actual skin. So yeah, sometimes there's no real reason or rhyme to what I do. I just like the effect and just how it looks. So off camera, I applied a little bit more texture, pretty much played with the prosthetics a little bit more, and this is the end result. I hope you like it. So that was it for the tutorial, you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I certainly did. But anyway, if you have any questions for me, leave them below in the comment section and I will try to get to you as soon as I can. And if you want to follow me on my social media pages, then just type in MakeupByNamaisa on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, what more, Periscope? Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel and give this video a thumbs up. And also let me know if you want more effects makeup. I want to know what you guys want to see on my YouTube channel. So again, leave that in the comment section and who knows, I might be doing an effects look that you suggested. Thank you all so much for watching and until my next video. Bye!